Greetings everyone, we are less than 24 hours away from the 71st Miss World pageant. The delegates from 112 countries have been gathered in India for nearly a month, practicing for the show and participating in preliminary events. The Miss World organization released a graphic today showing what we all can expect, so we are going to unpack all of that, along with what we've seen so far and my personal predictions for tomorrow's event. According to the Miss World organization, this year's pageant started out with 112 contestants. Now, just to give you an idea, if you have competed in pageants before, or even if you haven't, to be one contestant among 112 can be very intimidating. I have been in pageants where you walk in and there are 120 girls. It's a lot of people. So just imagine you walk into a job interview. If you see even 5 other people there, you're feeling like, whoa, that's a lot of people. Now imagine 20 other people there, or 50, but 112? So to be at a location with 111 other people vying for this one title, you have to be very mentally prepared for that. It's also challenging to be a judge at one of these pageants where you have over 100 contestants and knowing that each of them have something special to offer. There is a reason why everyone is here. So just to be there, competing at Miss World, experiencing the whole event, traveling and meeting all the people involved, it's a huge accomplishment. And I have to say, watching the preliminary events so far, listening and hearing about the Beauty with a Purpose projects, they are all very impressive. You have to be impressive to be chosen to represent your country at the Miss World pageant. So, congratulations to all of the delegates. You are all incredible representatives and you have a lot to be proud of. Now, looking at the Miss World graphic, the first thing we see is the field will be narrowed from 112 to the top 40. Already we know that 8 of the contestants have been fast-tracked into the top 40 by winning various preliminary events. Let's take a look at who is already in the top 40. If you watched the head-to-head challenge, it was the first qualifying event and it was live streamed on the Miss World YouTube channel, and you can see it there. We heard from 25 delegates, and from that event, 5 winners were chosen: Botswana, England, Lebanon, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. So those 5 will automatically be in the top 40. The next qualifying challenge we saw was the sport challenge, and that challenge was won by Croatia. And then the next qualifier we saw was the talent competition. There was 1 winner, Tunisia. And the last qualifying event that we have seen is the top model challenge, and the winner was Martinique. So those 8 contestants, Botswana, Croatia, England, Lebanon, Martinique, Nigeria, Tunisia, and Zimbabwe, are already guaranteed a spot in the top 40. There were 2 more events where we know who the finalists are, but we have not yet learned the winners. And those are the Multimedia Challenge and the Beauty with a Purpose. Looking at the graphic, we can see that 4 continental winners will be chosen as winners of Beauty with a Purpose, and 1 winner from the Multimedia Challenge. So we know there will be another 5 delegates joining the 8, which leaves 27 more spots that will be filled by the judges based on how the delegates performed in the preliminaries. We see the next field will be narrowed down to the top 12, and that the 12 will be comprised of at least 2 representatives from each of the continental regions. Then the judges will select the top 8, which will be 2 from each continent. And then the final 4 will be 1 delegate from each continent. Now let's get into the predictions for each of the continents, and this is based on what we have seen so far in the preliminary events. Beginning with the continental region, Africa. We know guaranteed to be in the top 40 are Botswana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and Tunisia. Still in the running to win the Multimedia Challenge is South Africa, and still in the running to win Beauty with a Purpose are Tanzania and Uganda. Additionally, in the top 20, we saw of the Top Model Challenge, Ghana and Togo. And then the wild cards that I can see here are Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, and Madagascar. For me, the three frontrunners in this group are Botswana, Nigeria, and South Africa. From what we have seen so far, I think the standout contestant of this group is Botswana. We saw her win in the head-to-head challenge early on. She is a practicing attorney with the High Court, so she is very well spoken and she should do very well on stage. She was a top 14 talent finalist. She was one of the final 4 continental winners in the Top Model Challenge, and she is one of the top 10 finalists for the Beauty with a Purpose, which is left to be decided. So she is a very strong contender. Now let's go to Asia and Oceania. Already guaranteed to be in the top 40 is Lebanon. Still in the running to win the Multimedia Challenge are Australia and India. And still in the running for Beauty with a Purpose are Indonesia, Nepal, and Turkey. Additionally, in the top 20 of the Top Model Challenge, we saw Philippines. And then the wild cards here, I think, are Mongolia, Malaysia, and Thailand. In my opinion, the three frontrunners from this group are Australia, Indonesia, and Turkey. The standout contestant for me here is Indonesia. Indonesia was in the top 25 during the head-to-head challenge. She came in 3rd place at the talent competition. She was a top 20 finalist in the Top Model Challenge, and she is also in the top 10 for Beauty with a Purpose. So she is a very strong contender as well. Now let's talk about America. Already guaranteed to be in the top 40 is Martinique. Still in the running to win the Multimedia Challenge is United States. And still in the running for Beauty with a Purpose are Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago. Additionally, in the top 20 of the Top Model Challenge, we saw Brazil, Canada, Dominican Republic, and Peru, who was also 3rd place in the Sport Challenge. Coming in 2nd at the Sport Challenge was Chile. And then the wild cards here, I think, are Colombia, Guatemala, and Puerto Rico. The top 3 contenders that I see here are Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, and United States. For me, the frontrunner of the Americas is Brazil. She was in the top 25 of the head-to-head challenge and a top 20 finalist in the Top Model Challenge. And she is still in the running to win for her Beauty with a Purpose project, which has been recognized by world leaders, including the Pope and the president of her country, Brazil. And now the 4th and final continental region, Europe. Guaranteed to be in the top 40 are Croatia and England. Still in the running to win the Multimedia Challenge is Spain. Spain was also in the top 25 of the head-to-head challenge, along with Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Belgium. In the top 20 of the Top Model Challenge, we saw Belgium along with France, Scotland, Slovakia, and Czech Republic, who is still in the running for Beauty with a Purpose along with Ukraine. This group from Europe has a few very strong contenders, and for me, the top 3 here are Belgium, Czech Republic, and England. I think Czech Republic is definitely a front runner here. We saw her in the top 20 of the Top Model Challenge. She won the Best Designer Award for her region, and she is still in the running to win for her Beauty with a Purpose project. So now we have a roadmap of what we can expect to see during tomorrow's show and my personal predictions. Of course, anything can happen.